The TR-85 is a main battle tank designed for the armed forces of Romania. Based on the TR-77-580, the TR-85 tank was developed from 1978 to 1985 and produced from 1986 until 1990. A modernization program was initiated in March 1994 in order to upgrade the TR-85 tanks to NATO standards. The result was the TR-85 M1 main battle tank, currently the most modern tank in service with the Romanian Land Forces. Although a further development of the T-55, the TR-85 M1 uses a T-block power pack based on a V8 German 830 horsepower diesel engine, an improved turret, a locally designed Ciclop fire control system, new 100mm BM-412 Sg APFSDS-T projectiles and a completely redesigned suspension with 6 road wheels on each side, protected by metal side skirts. Combat weight is 50 tons. Predecessors, T-55 and TR-580. After the Warsaw Pact invasion of Czechoslovakia, Communist Romania adopted a new national defense doctrine. However, this new doctrine required a self-sustainable local defense industry. In April 1968 a preliminary report regarding the production of tanks in Romania was proposed to the National Defense Council of Romania. The report was ratified by the Defense Council on October 13, 1972. The development of a Romanian medium tank effectively started on May 13, 1974. The Romanian Defense Council wrote the specifications for the medium tank. The new vehicle would have a weight of approximately 40 tons, a 100mm main gun and a 500 horsepower engine. The next step taken was the production of 400 derivatives of the T-55 tank, as the local arms industry lacked the experience required to design and produce a medium tank from scratch. The communist government did not buy the license for the T-55 tank. The initial batch, officially known as the TR-77 tank, was intended to use the Leopard 1 engine and, as a result, the hull was extended, having 6 instead of the usual 5 road wheels of the T-55 tank. However, because of the political need to reach the established production figures and the refusal of Krauss-Maffei to deliver technology to a Warsaw Pact member, the medium tank, known as the TR-77-580, was built using the V55 engine of the T-55 tank and the extended chassis. The TR-77 tank was developed between 1974 and 1980 and was produced between 1979 and 1985. Development. While the TR-77 was developed, from 1974 the Romanian engineers continued work on a reverse-engineered version of the 800 horsepower MTU Leopard 1 engine and transmission. The work came to a halt, as the engineers lacked the experience to reverse-engineer such complex designs. By 1976 however, Institutul Norpound Ional de Motormis stated that it could design an engine based on the Leopard 1 diesel engine model using available technology and solutions. Also, the hydromechanic transmission was designed by the Excitem Research Institute from Bucharest based on an available model and produced by Hidromecanică Brașov factory, thus completing the T-block power pack. The engine and transmission were designed between 1974 and 1982, using foreign technology. Ion Mihai Pacepa, a 2-star Romanian Securitate General and the highest-ranking intelligence official ever to have defected from the former Eastern Bloc, later asserted in his book Red Horizons, Chronicles of a Communist Spy Chief that the engine technology was obtained using spy rings and confidential assistance from the Federal Republic of Germany. The new tank was officially known as the TR-85-800 and was designed between 1978 and 1986. The engine had a maximum output of 830 horsepower. The suspension was redesigned and the turret, while bearing a strong resemblance to the T-55 series, was actually different. Production. The main tank factory was established by Decree NR 514 in December 1978 at FMGS Division of the 23rd August plant in Bucharest. The construction of this tank factory was finalized in 1980. The factory was a militarized zone and was top secret, requiring a special permit to enter. By 1983, The FMGS tank factory could produce 210 tanks per year. The Trail 85 tank was produced between 1986 and 1990 at rate of approximately 100 tanks per year. The Trail 85 tank was soon found to be mechanically unreliable. Teething problems included high fuel and oil consumption, engine and transmission problems and chronic oil leakage. Furthermore, the Ciclop fire control system was unreliable because of the poor quality of electronics. The laser rangefinder was not integrated with the daylight aiming system and only a limited number of corrections could be inserted in the ballistic fire control computer. Problems were made worse when Nicolosa unregistered trademark SU decided to cancel in July 1982 all imports of special equipment for the arms industry. At one point, SU unregistered trademark SU threatened to stop tank production altogether because of the poor manufacturing quality. The initial teething problems were not corrected until after the fall of communism in Romania when the Romanian engineers used foreign parts to improve TR-85's reliability. Modernization Programme. In March 1994, the Romanian General Staff initiated the modernization program of the TR-85 tanks by Order No. 1429. On April 14, 1994, the upgrade program was approved by the Supreme Council of National Defense and Development of the new tank, officially designated TR-85M1 bis null, started in 1996 when 2 prototypes were built. The aim of the program was to upgrade the TR-85 to NATO standards by improving the firepower, protection, mobility, the communication systems and the reliability of the engine, transmission and the braking system. The modernization program involved both foreign companies, such as Aerospațial Matra, Segam, Colmorginatus, Rakel, and local defense companies such as the Roman Military Consortium, METRA, Electromagnetica, FAUR, Elprof, Aerot, IOR, Pruptica, Artigo, Arsenal Wanaya Pounder, Metav, Forsev, Anticorrosival, IEMI, Blast, Aerostar and IOEL. The result of the modernization program, the TR-85M1 tank, is compliant with NATO standards. Design Countermeasures Concealment. The turret is fitted with 2 6-barreled 81 mm smoke grenade launchers and 2 4-barreled flare launchers. The system can create a thick smoke that blocks both vision and thermal imaging. The tank is also equipped with a smoke screen generator that is triggered by the driver. When activated, diesel fuel is injected into the hot exhaust, creating the thick smoke. The Trail 85M1 is equipped with laser illumination warning sensors that can automatically trigger the GFM-76 smoke grenades and flares, thus disrupting the guidance systems of thermal and infrared-guided missiles. The SAILR laser warning receiver can locate and identify the threat, warning the crew and triggering the DLC. Armor. The armor of the TR-85M1 tank has a maximum thickness of 200 mm for the hull and 320 plus 20 mm add-on armor on the turret. The 20 mm add-on armor on the front of the turret has a modular appearance with a triangular profile. Although it might look like bricks of explosive reactive armor, the add-on composite armor is designed this way for easy replacement after combat damage. The tank also has side skirts as a protection against shaped charges. The metal side skirts have 3 holes each that form steps for the crew to reach the roof hatches. On the sides of the turret there are ammunition boxes for the heavy anti-aircraft DSHK machine gun. The upper glacis plate has 2 track segments, while the lower glacis plate can be fitted with steel screens or a mine roller. The Trail 85M1 tank also has NBC protection and an improved, rapid fire suppression system using non-toxic agents. The system, designed by L'Hôtelier, protects both the crew and the engine compartment using Holland. The modernized version adds an additional mine protection plate and a bar for the driver, which increases protection against mines and improvised explosive devices. Also, the older TR-85 tanks have a conventional driver's seat bolted on the floor of the tank, whereas the M1 version has a parachute harness-like arrangement. In this way, The driver does not have any contact with the hull except on the pedals and is out of the shockwave area of exploding landmines or IEDs. Armament equals Primary armament. The main armament of the TR-85M1 is the 100mm A308 rifled tank gun that was also fitted to the TR-77 tanks. The Trail 85M1 has a rate of fire of about 4 to 7 rounds per minute and can carry up to 41 projectiles inside the tank. The gun barrel is fitted with a bore evacuator and has a thermal sleeve. The Trail 85 tanks use a manual loader. The modernized version has a number of improvements to increase the reliability of the gun. The hydraulic buffer was improved by replacing the rubber sealing, and the electro-erosion of the chrome layer from the hydraulic buffer and recuperator has been removed by changing the design and manufacturing process. The gun can fire APFSDS-T, shape charge, high explosive, armor-piercing with tracer and target practice rounds. There was also an APFSDS round that is no longer in production. In order to increase the firepower of the TR-85 tank, the BM-412 Sg round was developed in cooperation with Israel as part of the Modernization Programme started in 1996. Made by Aero TSA from Bucharest and marketed by Romanian SA, the BM-412 Sg projectile can penetrate 444 mm of rear at 90 degree at 500 meters, 425 mm at 1000 meters and 328 mm at 4000 meters. Secondary armament. The Trail 85M1 tank has two machine guns, a 12.7A, 108 mm DSHKM heavy machine gun in a pintle mount on the loader's hatch ring. The DSHK machine gun is made by UMQ gear and can be used as a light anti-aircraft weapon. To fire and reload the weapon manually, the gunner has to partially expose himself to suppressive fire. A 7.62A, 54 MRPKM machine gun in a coaxial mount to the right of the main gun. The coaxial MG is aimed and fired with the same computer fire control system used for the main gun. Aiming. The Trail 85M1 is equipped with a local-made Ciclop M ballistic fire control computer, a third-generation FCS and an improvement of the previous, second-generation, Ciclop FCS. According to the manual of the Ciclop M fire control system, the ballistic solution generated ensures a hit percentage greater than 95% for a target under 2,000 meters and greater than 75% for a target between 2,000 and 3,000 meters. Also, the Ciclop M can be used to aim a target located at up to 6 km away with the OF-421 high-explosive round, up to 5 km away for the BM-412 Sg APFSDS-T round, 4 km for the APT rounds and up to 3 km for the heat projectiles. The coaxial machine gun can be aimed at a maximum distance of 2 km using the FCS of the tank. The gun is electrically stabilized on two axes by the EADS computer-aided stabilization system. The new stabilization system improves the accuracy of the main gun and reduces the target engagement time, turret temperature, noise, fire hazard and maintenance. The turret has RKS roller bearings to ensure a better stabilization of the A308 gun. The gunner's day sight telescopic periscope features an integrated laser rangefinder and an electronic reticle. Above the gun barrel there is an SAGEMMATIS passive thermal viewer designed to operate at wavelengths between 3 and 5 I1/4 m in the spectral band. Initially, the TR-85M1 tanks had an inferior SAGEMALIS passive thermal viewer for the gunner, now present in export configurations. The driver has an AONPI passive night sight, which is also the standard night vision device for the gunner on the older TR-85 tanks. The commander has a SFIMEC2 of 55 panoramic sight with a second-generation SAGEM image intensification system that can be independently directed to the target. Mobility equals. The original TR-85 was powered by the 830 horsepower 8 versus A2T2. 4-stroke, 8-cylinder, liquid-cooled, turbocharged direct-injection diesel engine, and a 6-speed THM 5800 hydromechanic transmission. giving it a governed top speed of 50 km per hour on paved roads. The TR-85 M1 has an improved version of the original engine. The new 8 versus A2T2M provides 860 horsepower and has a top road speed of 60 km per hour. However, because the weight of the tank increased from 42 tons to 50 tons, the power-to-weight ratio has been reduced from 19.7 to 17.2 horsepower per ton. The tank has a maximum road range of about 400 km and can be fitted with 2 optional 200-litre drum-type fuel tanks at the rear of the vehicle for an increased operational range. Like the T-54-55 series, the TR-85 has an unditching beam and a snorkel mounted at the rear of the hull. To meet the power demands of the new equipment, a coal-margin generating set has been installed. The new power generation system provides 20 kilowatts of stable voltage. The TR-85 tanks have a torsion bar suspension. The modernized version also has a telescopic hydro-gas shock absorbers to increase the overall speed. The running gear consists of 6 dual rubber-tired road wheels and 4 return rollers per side, with the idler wheel at the front and drive sprocket at the rear. The first 2 road wheels have characteristic, prominent gaps between them and the rest of the road wheels. The tank has 2 bolt tracks with metal rubber articulations. The M1 version has aluminum alloy road wheels. The braking system has been improved by replacing the old wet multi-disc brakes with dry multi-disc brakes and the old hydraulic system with a new servo mechanism. Interior. The TR-85 has a typical tank layout: driver's compartment at the front, fighting compartment in the center and engine compartment in the rear. The 4-man crew consists of the commander, driver, gunner and loader. The driver's hatch is on the front left of the hull roof. The commander is seated on the left side of the turret, with the gunner to his front and the loader on the right. The TR-85 has a cramped crew compartment, a characteristic of the T-54-55 series. Although it has an extended chassis, the extra space is used by the larger engine. The TR-85 M1 also has a turret bustle, but this does not alleviate the crew comfort because of the additional equipment of the modernized version. Although there are no height limits for tank recruits in the Romanian Army, the recommended maximum height is 1.68 m. As in practice, anyone taller will have to sit in an uncomfortable position with limited physical movement. The communication system consists of US and US stations with intelligent frequency jump and encryption. The crew has an intercom with 4+1 stations. Variants: TR-85, basic model, produced from 1986 until 1990. TR-85, armored recovery vehicle based on the TR-85 chassis. TR-85 M1 Bizenal modernized version, produced from 1999 until present. BM-412 M1, armored engineer vehicle based on the TR-85 M1 chassis with a new, fixed superstructure, a 6.5T crane and a Pearson's TWMP mine-clearing plow. The commander has a cupola with RWS. 5 were built between 2007 and 2009. The TR-85 tank has been referred to in Western sources as the TM-800, M1978 or Model 1978 and TR-800. The Romanian Army currently uses only the TR-85 and TR-85 M1 designations. However, the early prototypes of the TR-85 M1 were known as the TR-85 M or TR-85 M1A. The add-on armor of these tanks had a different shape and was welded. Additionally, the turret bustle had a different shape and the bore evacuator had a different position. A TR-85 M1A variant is currently on display at the National Military Museum in Bucharest. In 2002, a TR-85 M1 tank was tested with a V12 Iveco 1200 horsepower engine, but did not enter production. The prototype was referred to as the TR-85 M2 tank in some sources, however there is no proof that the Romanian Army ever used this designation. In 2007, when the BM-412 M1 was developed, there were also plans for other derivative vehicles based on the TR-85 M1 chassis, including an armored recovery vehicle version and an armored vehicle launched bridge. These variants are currently in development. Operators: Romania, The Romanian Land Forces have 249 TR-85 and 54 TR-85M1 tanks. The modernization program is still in progress. See also, Ramses II tank, Al-Zara, Type 72Z Safir 74, T-55 AGM. References, citations. Bibliography. External links, Romanian, TR-85M1 on the Romanian Land Forces website, Romanian, http, www.defense.ru, Romanian, http, www.armyacademy.ru3 2000/art25 html, Romanian, http, www.zywaru-display.php. Data equals 1999-12-09 and it equals 35,386.